The unthinkable has happened. The Forbes and Google lovefest is finally over. And this is not just a minor spat. Google has finally caught Forbes red-handed abusing their site reputation and slapped them with an alleged manual penalty that's already cost Forbes millions of page views. I know. Try to hold back your tears while I play the world's smallest violin. In all seriousness though, it's about damn time that this happened. Google has been talking a big game when it comes to penalizing sites who ignore their guidelines, and Forbes has been one of the biggest rule breakers for a while now. So why did this only happen now? Is this the start of the downfall of Forbes? And does this mean that the party is over for other big name sites too? We'll answer all that in today's video. Hi, I'm Mark Webster, co-founder of Authority Hacker and strategic advisor over at Marketing Pros. Today's video is brought to you by Search Intelligence. More on them a little later. Let's get into the meat of this long-awaited hit to Forbes traffic now. Unless you've been living in North Korea for the past decade, you've probably already noticed how dominant Forbes has been in the search results. If you search Google for pet insurance, places to live, pest control, or even CBD, Forbes is right up there at the top, serving up a half-baked article. Remember, Forbes is supposed to be a business and finance website, so what the business do they have recommending CBD or pest control products and services? Well, until recently, Google seemed to think they were the most relevant and authoritative resource on all of these topics. SEOs have been crying foul for years that Forbes is getting a free pass, and Google finally seems to have listened. They've hit Forbes Marketplace, publicly known as Forbes Advisor, which is a subsection of the Forbes website, with what appears to be a manual penalty for site reputation abuse. This has caused a massive 24% drop in traffic in under a week, and that drop is still going on. That's over 5 million page views snatched away from Forbes' greedy fingers. But what's really going on here? What is this Forbes Advisor or Forbes Marketplace, and how is that different from regular content on Forbes? And why has Google hit them with a site reputation abuse penalty now? If you're an SEO nerd like me, this story is a truly fascinating dive into the underbelly of a high-stakes Parasite SEO game, and what can happen if you get a little too greedy. Today's video is brought to you by Search Intelligence. They're a digital PR agency that recently captivated the gaming world with their unique study on how much video game characters would earn in real life. They made a list of the 50 most popular video game characters and then compared their jobs to real-world salaries, sparking widespread interest. Their creative campaign landed over 20 high-quality links from top publications, including The Express, Houston Press, and many more. This impressive coverage helped secure their clients' prominent position in the gaming industry. So if you're looking for a digital PR campaign to level up your link building, head on over to search-intelligence.co.uk. To truly understand the whole Forbes situation, we first need to zoom out and examine the broader context of what's going on here. Many print newspapers and magazines, like Forbes, struggled to make money recently. Display ad revenue isn't enough. A few with particularly strong brands have placed their content behind paywalls, but most have turned to making affiliate plays, mainly in the form of reviews. These reviews are usually polished, but can sometimes lack depth. To see what I mean, let's compare the quality of analysis on Forbes' Best Air Purifiers review versus an article from HouseFresh, a site that runs extensive tests to try and find the best air purifiers. The Forbes article reads well, but you can tell they didn't test the products as rigorously as HouseFresh did. The New York Times famously bought Wirecutter to try and overcome this quality deficit, but most news publications making affiliate plays just pump out alright content. One of the biggest complaints from smaller publishers who were hit by Google's Helpful Content Update, HCU, is that these huge news sites with mediocre, kind of fluffy content were completely insulated from the huge traffic losses other sites saw. Google seems to treat these sites differently, and Forbes is the king of them all, which is why the comment section of this video is probably filled with cries of joy right now. Feel free to chime in there, and of course hit that subscribe button while you're at it. We share the most important news in search marketing each and every week, condensed and filtered so you're only getting the info that matters most. It's the best way to stay on top of the industry, and subscribing guarantees you won't miss our next video. The other main way these news sites have been generating affiliate income is through coupon subdirectories. Basically, one company, Global Savings Group, who have since rebranded as Atolls, went to a bunch of news sites and said, hey, let us add a bunch of coupons to your site. You'll rank for the coupon keywords. We'll both make some money. This was blatant Parasite SEO. A third party was coming in with a turnkey solution and publishing content on a high authority domain with zero oversight from the actual publisher. These coupons represented a red line for Google though. They specifically called out these coupon directories in their spam policy, and Google took manual actions against these directories in early May. And that's sort of what's happening to Forbes right now, or Forbes Advisor, or Marketplace, or whatever it's supposed to be. It's kind of like taking this turnkey approach from coupons, but applying it to reviews instead. Another company has total control over a lot of their affiliate content, but Forbes is making it seem like they're the ones creating the content. A report from Lars Lofgren, Chief Growth Officer and co-founder of Stonepress, has the scoop. According to Lofgren, a company called Marketplace partnered with Forbes to run their SEO affiliate business back in September 2019. They created a separate registered company called Forbes Marketplace to make it look like it's part of Forbes, and then they began to manage several sections of the Forbes website, namely Forbes Advisor, Forbes Home Improvement, Forbes Health, and most recently, Forbes Betting. In total, these sections generate more than 20.6 million monthly page views. According to an SEC filing, Forbes purchased a minority stake, around 39%, in Forbes Marketplace for around $3.4 million, also granting Forbes Marketplace the right to use the Forbes name. Now, at the time, this was probably a good decision, seeing as Forbes Marketplace earned at least $29 million back in 2021. In fact, they've made so much money that they've allegedly tried to buy the entirety of Forbes. And you want to know what the crazy part of all this is? Forbes doesn't seem to be the only site Forbes Marketplace is doing this with. Lofgren speculates that they're doing this with CNN and USA Today as well. For example, CNN's affiliate review section is called CNN underscored. Most of this looks legit and is run by the actual CNN company. But there's a subdirectory called CNN underscored money. That's a little bit fishy. Lofgren discovered that the CNN underscored money subdirectory is a completely different website with a different content management system than the main CNN site. They just tried really hard to make it seem identical to the main underscored site. And the privacy policy for underscored money lists the point of contact as a company managed by the CFO of Marketplace, the company that runs Forbes Marketplace. And there's an eerily similar thing going on with USA Today Blueprint. They also have connections to Marketplace. Lofgren found a USA Today Blueprint editor with an email address on the Marketplace domain. It feels cool to put out our spy hats with this stuff, but let's get down to what actually matters here. Google's cracked down on this stuff. Google recently updated their web search spam policies documentation, specifically the section about site reputation abuse. We checked the documentation on Wayback Machine, and this section was added last month. It says that close oversight or involvement is when the first party hosting the site is directly producing or generating unique content. For example, via staff directly employed by the first party, or freelancers working for the staff on the first party site. It is not working with third-party services such as white label or turnkey, there's that word again, that focus on redistributing content with the primary purpose of manipulating search rankings. They also added a section on sites who keep trying to circumvent spam policies after they've been warned. Penalties include restriction from search features like top stories or Google Discover, and removal of more sections of the site from the search results. That second section sounds like a direct warning to Forbes. If they continue this Forbes Advisor stunt or create new sections to try and get around the apparent penalty, Google will hit them even harder. So why did they do all of this? Well, part of the problem is that Google had a hard time understanding the best content. Google's algorithm isn't nearly as good as most people think at determining which content is best. They have to use a ton of indirect signals to help them here. Our previous video on the Google algorithm leak goes into more detail on a lot of that process. This was already a difficult job, but AI content has drastically increased the volume of content the algorithm had to analyze, which makes the task even harder. Even before that, though, they'd been turning up the dial for years, making it so big sites receive far less scrutiny. And the HCU update put that into overdrive, making it so that basically only high authority domains appeared in the search results for review terms. Most affiliates were wiped out here. Big sites like Forbes, CNN, and USA Today realized this trend years ago and of course exploited it as much as possible. For the first time, it seems like there may finally be signs that big sites' domination of search rankings may be in decline. But how will this play out long term, and what should Google do to mitigate this kind of abuse moving forward? We reached out to Lofgren for his thoughts, and he says that the easiest step for Google to take is to turn down the overweighting of extreme domain authority. Now, I really hope this happens, as this will open the door for a lot of small publishers to get back in the game. Others in the industry have also weighed in. SEOs are rightfully blaming Google's algorithm for allowing Forbes Marketplace to dominate this in the first place. If Google created the conditions for this kind of abuse to happen, someone's obviously going to take advantage of it. Even Forbes' own employees are jumping ship now, issuing a vote of no confidence against the CEO and Chief Content Officer of Forbes Media. In the letter, they state some of the reasons why over 70 staff members have left the company, which include the lack of standards of editorial integrity, the public outcry from Forbes running a shadow site for several years to spoof their ad inventory, and Forbes' weak and unenforceable set of editorial values and standards that don't prevent the company from placing sponsored content such as Forbes Advisor alongside staff work on the website with little labeling or delineation. However, we need to keep in mind, as SEO expert Glenn Gabe reminds us, that manual actions are not foolproof. Sites that receive manual actions can, and have in the past, no-indexed all their offending content to get the manual action lifted. They then remove the no-index tab, re-index the content, and get their rankings to surge back again. For example, SEO expert Charles Float shared an example of a site that was hit for site reputation abuse, seeing a full recovery for their casino pages. And Float also found that even though a huge number of Forbes Advisor pages are dropping out of the search right now, they're still easily pulling in massive amounts of traffic from AI overviews. Though it's possible that the AI overviews algorithms have not yet synchronized with Google's manual penalty, and we could still see Forbes Advisor drop from AI overviews. Here's our take on this. Forbes Advisor got a big hit, but it's not too bad yet, at least percentage-wise. However, we don't think that Google is done yet. There will be more to come here. Just look at the difference in quality between a site that pays lip service to experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust, or EEAT, in their affiliate reviews like Forbes, and a site like Ratings that actually goes the extra mile to test products and provide real analysis. Sure, Forbes has a few simple product-in-hand images, but they don't really test rigorously. It's just subjective editorial opinion. If this content was posted on any small site, it would never in a million years rank in today's algorithm. And while this particular post isn't on Forbes Advisor, and therefore doesn't meet Google's definition of site reputation abuse, the fact that Forbes can churn out this okay content and outrank much better content certainly seems like some kind of site reputation abuse to me. The bottom line is that Google is still a long way from being able to show the best content. If they turn the dial back on site authority, they're opening the floodgates to AI spam. Still, I'm glad they've started to fix the problem with site reputation abuse that's been an open secret in the SEO industry for years. I'm almost hesitant to say it, but thank you, Google. You took a small step in the right direction, and I can't wait to see what you have cooked up next. It's time now for our debate of the week. Do you think Google will destroy Forbes Advisor entirely, or will they let them continue to make millions of dollars with just a slap on the wrist? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. We've got some free gifts for you. Whether you're looking for a list of high-paying affiliate programs or hidden hand-picked tools to boost your business, we've got you covered. You'll find a link in the comments and the description below. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, you're gonna love this video right here, so go check it out.